everybody. Just gonna get myself set up. Oh, I'm just gonna wait a second, see if anyone's online. God, we're really feeling the heat today. I can barely think. I just feel like I'm usually quite good in the heat, but this is just ridiculous. It's just thick, isn't it? Yeah. So this is Chester, for those of you who have not met him yet. This little lump. And he's going to be helping me explain a little bit about nail clipping. And we can talk about recall as well, but I just thought, being as though I've been managing the nails of this one, who is frightened of having his nails clipped, and Maya the foster dog, I thought I'd go over that with you, because you know it's quite a difficult one for many of you, isn't it, to get the nails, to get them to feel comfortable to have their nails clipped, and then you have to go and take it to a groomer or the vet, and it can be done at home. And I have made a video about this, so I will link it underneath this video, so at least then you've got something to refer back to. This is just going to really explain a little bit about how I tend to help Chester and Maya get around it. So, with your dog and your treats, preferably high value, and if you have them in a pot with a lid on, they can't steal them, or your treat pouch, make sure it's, you know, the cord is pulled or it's tucked out the way, or whichever, because they're on your level. It's easy for them to just stick their nose in, and you know, if they get them, then good for them. So it's up to us to manage the environment so they can't make mistakes. Right, so he's right up in my grill because he doesn't know that I'm not talking to him. He thinks it's just me and him time in my training space, and he doesn't realise that I'm doing this video for you. So he's going to just keep climbing on my lap. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Lovely. Trying to hold my hand. So actually, what I'm going to start with are the nail clippers. The ones that I prefer look like this, rather than the closed hoop one. It's an open hoop one, because if the dog panics, it can pull its claw away and it doesn't get torn. So I go for those ones. This hasn't actually got a brand, but I think I might have just got it from the vet, so, or maybe online. So the way to do it, I'm not going to go into how to cut the nail from an angles point of view, because a vet is probably best off telling you about this, or a groomer. I have got that in a video that I've made, like I said, that I'll link below. But in terms of training your dog to feel comfortable and having their nails clipped, what you want to do is you first, and take it back to the, even if you've started and they're still not liking it, I want you to go back to the very beginning, and you just get your treats, put them out the way. I'm going to hide this at my back, and every time I present, sit, wait, good boy. Every time I present the nail clippers, I'm going to offer a treat, right? Don't try and steal off me. We're being professional now. Go back a bit, back, go back a bit, go back. Good. So I'm going to present nail clippers and offer a treat at the same time, okay? So he just gets to see it in the side of his view, in the corner of his eye. And I just do that on repetition, so he starts to associate the sight of these clippers with something that he likes, which means then they either become a neutral thing that he's just not bothered about because he's just feeling quite comfortable, or it means, oh, food's coming. So it's not such a scary experience when it gets closer and closer to his body. I know, you're very impatient. Me too, it's very hot today. So I'm going to turn it round now and show him the metal end. Okay? And you think he's not looking because he's not giving it direct eye contact, but dogs have got, you know, their eyes on the side of their head, they've got good peripheral vision. He will be seeing this, be very aware of it. So you just start off doing that at exactly the same time, presenting the treat and the clippers at the same time. Now what I'm going to do, good boy, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to present the clippers, take a breath, and then present the treat, okay? So I'm going to, and then remove, okay? So when the food goes, the clippers go. When the clippers go, the food goes. So clippers come out, I pause, and then I give them a treat. So he's looking at it now, okay? So he'll start to associate looking at it with getting something nice. And you just repeat that until you're holding it and it's, you know, you've presented it in different angles and it just doesn't mean anything bad. It's just, oh, I get food when this thing comes out, okay? And then what I want you to do, what I would do anyway, is I would touch with my hand and the clippers to his shoulder, bearing in mind that he might try and investigate this as I move my hand around. So I don't want to poke him in the face with it, so you've got to be careful. But head towards their shoulder, because it's a nice safe space on their body, rather than going straight to the feet. They want to kind of feel it on their body and understand it a bit more. So this is going the slow route, but it's just how I do it because I find it works better. So again, like before, we've done presenting at the same time, and then clippers first, and then treats after. Now I'm going to go clippers first, treat, take it away, clippers first a bit closer, treat, take it away, and then I'm just going to keep doing this until I get closer and closer, and then I can touch him on his body. You know what, I'm going to do it the other way so you can actually see what I'm doing. And this isn't like, this might not be the best way of doing it, it's just what I find works, okay? So you might find other people say, oh no, don't do it like this, or actually you can do this, which, you know, great. So behind my back, I'm going to present it. He's trying to target with his nose because he does a lot of targeting. And I feed and I take it away. I'm going to present it, touch him with it, feed and take away. Let's do that one more time. Present it, feed, take away. And then I'm going to slowly work down his leg. Okay, present it, move to elbow, feed, take away. So at this point he's already started to get the idea of the game. He's having food when the clippers come out. He's having food shortly after the clippers come out. He's having food when the clippers touch him. He's having food when the clippers move down his body towards where he's a bit scared of being touched by hands or clippers. His chest is very foot shy. This is why I go nice and slow. So I'm going to touch his elbow, feed to mouth. Okay, and if he's feeling a little bit excited or stressed, it gets a bit grabby. So what I do is either, well, first of all, I would judge and give him a break if he needs it, because we don't have to do all the training and do the clipping. Don't think you have to get results in the same session. You can just work up until they're ready. And also feed in your hand like that, so you've cupped, because then you don't get your fingers munched, okay? So I'm going to reach in, and then I'm going to feed. And I'm just going to do that until I get down to his foot. If he's very sensitive, by the time I got to his foot, he might have gone, oh no, I don't like that, okay? As soon as he pulls away, we pull away. We don't want to remain there, because we want to respect that when he says, oh no, don't like it, we go, that's okay, you can have a break. And you can maybe put them down and give him a bit of a massage, you know? So I'm going to present, move down to his foot, and then feed, okay? You can use a marker word if you want to, if you've got one with your dog, so, or a clicker if you've got enough hands, or there's two of you. So you could present it to his body and then go, yes, and then feed. I don't tend to do that with Chester because he gets aroused really quickly, which means then he starts going into training mode, and he finds it more exciting and harder to just relax. So I just hold it to his body. You can't really quite see there, but I've got it rested on his paw there, and I'm just going to feed. Okay. So you go through all these motions to just get them used to seeing it and then feeling it. Okay. If he wants to have a good sniff of it, that's fine. If he starts chewing it, take it away. Do this for both sides of the body, and then also going along the back to the feet. So if I want to clip his back feet, I'm going to have to get his back feet used to this as well. So I will move it close to him like this, and then feed, and then turn away. He's lining the way, so you can't actually see on camera, but his legs are going this way, but I'm just going to demonstrate on this side, as you can see. So I'll move it close to him, and I'll slide it back, and then I'll feed. And with his back feet, I will always, not over the top of him, and not really under, but kind of like the side. If you go right under with my dog, he'll try and give you a chin rest or target it. So I go to the side, and then I'm going to stroke down. I can get the treat ready. There you go. Always have your treats ready. So that's how you desensitise him to the touch of this, okay? I know. So the next step, just going to reset him, get him out of my space, give him something to do a second. Find it. So the next step then is making contact with the feet in a desensitisation. So I'm doing all this with the clippers closed, by the way, just so you can see. So I don't want to nick his paws or his skin or anything like that. So I'm just going to ask him to get comfortable and sit in front of me. You're going to come and sit down? Good lad. Are you going to lie down? Can you sit up? Chester, sit up. Sit up. Good. Nice. So if your dog does paw, then you can move on to this stage. We use whapper. Whapper. Good boy. So what I did then is I just asked for a bit of a durational paw, and then he got the food. I didn't bring it out at the same time because I'm not desensitising my touch to his paw. It's just he gives me a paw for a while and then he gets food, okay? So I'll do that again. Whapper. And then I feed. Again, I'm not saying yes because I don't want to over-arouse him, because that's just tends to what happened with Chester. So I just ask for his paws, each one, so then he just gets used to giving them to me after he's had all this. And while I'm doing the paw stuff, this is like on my lap, so he's very aware of this object, and it all becomes part of the routine. Again, this is how I do it in a nice slow way. So I do paw both sides. When he's stood up, I would also mess with his back feet. If your dog can give you their back feet, like if they can lift their back foot to give it to you as a trick, then obviously use that. But if not, you can just run your hand down the leg and gently lift it and hold, place it down, give a treat, okay? They understand that little behaviour that just happened, that little interaction got them a reward. If you can't do it at the same time because you're using both hands to support your dog so they don't fall, there we go, you can just give the treat straight away after, okay? So we're still making nice, lovely, positive associations with something that the dog likes and having their body manipulated with, okay? So the next stage is sit up. Good. Go back a bit. Sit up. Come on, Chess. Ready? Up. Good. And then backspace. Backspace. Good. So this is a typical Slappy thing. They like to be up in your grill. But he doesn't realise it's actually really hot for me today. You're used to being hot in that fur coat. So I've done the whole picking his feet up if he doesn't know how to give them to me, or asking for his paw if he does know how to give them to me. The next stage will be holding the paw, tapping with this, you know, the clippers, and then presenting a treat, okay? So I'll show you how we do that. So I'm going to go whapper. So he's given me his left one, good boy. But we want him to give you the right one, don't we, so we can see. Good. So he's preempting. Whapper. Okay. So nice and quiet because I don't want to arouse him. However, with your dog, it might work best for them if you go whapper or paw, and then you go yes. Okay. So then he's just offered his paw, got touched with the clippers, and then he got rewarded for that, okay? So then he's like, okay, so far, so good, nothing bad's happening. And we want him to keep thinking that all the way through, because he's more likely to start offering the behaviours and be more cooperative with us. So here we go, Whapper. Very good. If there's two of you, this is going to be much easier because you can both be on your dog's level. One of you asks for the paw and touches it with the clippers, while the other one feeds at the same time. But like I said, it doesn't matter if it's not at the same time, because you can just, you know, place the foot back down and take the treat and feed it to them, and they'll completely understand that there was association made there. Okay, so we've started doing that, and now you do it on each foot. Okay, to further desensitise this texture, this metal, to the feet, you want to tap the nail, okay, because it's quite sensitive for some dogs. They can run along concrete and they're absolutely fine, but you touch their nail with something and they're like, ooh. So I'm going to say Whapper, I'm going to tap, and then I'm going to feed. Okay? Did you see how he went? He did it when I tapped him. He went really quiet, his mouth closed, he was concentrating, he was preempting in case I was going to cut his nails because he doesn't like it. Whapper. Good boy. Whapper. Good boy. Well done. So you just do that to each of the nails, get them used to that feeling of metal against their nail. Just tap, and you can say tap, yes, feed, or tap and feed, okay? Do it to each of their nails and their dew claws and their back feet as well, okay? You don't have to do it all in one go, remember. You can take your time over this, because it's all about them learning to feel comfortable rather than us getting results. If their nails get a bit long over the 2 weeks that you're getting them desensitised, that's okay. You know, they will survive. If you do struggle, you can take them to the vet, you know, or the groomer. But doing this at home is really going to help you in the future. It's building up that bond and that trust between you. So once you've done the desensitisation and the tapping, what I would do next is I'd get a piece of, this sounds odd, but a piece of pasta. Spaghetti is really good, a thick piece or something like that. And you just make this, because we're desensitising the different things, the sight, the sensation of the tap. We want to do the sound now, okay? And he's already got the smell because it's right in front of him. So the sound of something being snipped. So even going like this and feeding, you know, does help. Okay, just make sure he's not in the way. But getting some pasta and snipping makes a real sound. So he doesn't feel so frightened when he hears that sound next to his paw, okay? So you can do the sound next to his paw and feed. And again, to each foot, okay? So that's desensitised the different senses to nail clipping. It makes things a lot easier. So when you actually get to do it, Whapper, you go clip and feed, okay? Using that marker word can help your dog to stay in position until you release them with that yes, okay? So I'll show you how that looks. Whapper. Yes. See how he went to investigate afterwards, because he was like, oh, that was on me for a very long time. And he just wanted to, you know, check in and see what this was, didn't you? So that's how you go with that, okay? If your dog doesn't do paw, you could teach them paw alongside this exercise. Or you could, like what I said before, is that you could lift the paw. Yes. Okay? You just go through the same techniques. It's all about getting their body familiar with these motions, with the equipment, with you sat here doing this. Choose a really nice calm day, like, you know, maybe put some soothing music on or something like that, and, you know, don't do it when they're absolutely starving, because they're just going to want to work for the treats really hard. Give them a bit of, you know, something in their stomach to line them. The other way of doing it is making a big emery board for them, and this is my preferred method because it just takes a lot of the fear out of it. So you start off by getting a piece of board and some sandpaper, some really coarse sandpaper. And what you're going to do is pop it on the floor and let your dog investigate it. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Go back, please. Go back. Go back. So I'm going to place this on the floor. Go back. Go back. Shh. When I place this on the floor and he goes to investigate it, when he touches it with his paw, I'm going to say yes and then feed him. If he doesn't touch it with his paw, I'm going to take it away. I'm going to pop it back down, and when he goes to investigate it with his nose to sniff it at something, I will say yes, okay? To just help him really get to understand that I want him interacting with this. Go back, go back. I've got another dog entering the room in a minute, so I'm just going to place this down. Okay. Yes. And I'm going to toss the treat away because that will reset him, yes, to return to this thing. Because he'll come to me and he has to walk over the emery board to be able to get the treat from me. So he'll come to me, and every time he comes to me, he steps on the board, okay? We do this repetition. It starts to train him to target this, to walk over it and touch it and get his feet used to being on this material. Then I start to hold it a little bit like this. So he's then going to come up and start, yes, putting his paw on it. I say yes when he does, and then I toss the treat. Yes. Yes. With repetition, they do get more excited, so they're going to come and target it. Yes. More so. And just wait until he takes his foot away, and it will make that lovely scratching sound. And that's when you want to mark it, okay? Yes! Yes! And they do start to understand, oh, I'm meant to be scratching this, okay? You can make it easier by bringing it up to your dog's height. But if your dog is small, then down here is quite good. Obviously, the bigger they are, just watch your fingers when they're scratching, because that actually can be quite painful. You can use an old chopping board for this, by the way, with a handle. That's quite good. Yes! So by doing this, your dog is filing his nails himself, okay? You can put this on cue. You can say scratch or nails, whichever. Once he has understood that you sat here like this, means he wants, yes, means he's supposed to scratch it, and then this helps him feel a lot more comfortable, yes, with the whole procedure of having his nails filed, because you just bring it out and say scratch, he comes up, he does it, he knows exactly what to do. And the same with the back nails, okay? Back nails are a bit more difficult with the emery board, but getting him to walk over the board and marking his back feet on the board, you know, on the emery board, he can scratch his back feet too. Yes, good boy. But the back feet tend to wear down quicker on concrete than front paws do. So walking them on concrete is going to be helpful, keeping them down. So I'm just going to put this away because he's going to keep doing it, and we're not going to have any nails left. We don't want that. So I hope that explains some ways in which you can file your dog's nails, trim your dog's nails in a way that is comfortable for them and less stressful for both of you. It's just all about going slow and finding out what your dog needs, whether they need a break, whether they need a different technique, a different method, you know. And you could always, if you've got a good groomer or a good vet, you could ask them to help you with this to start you off. You know, they should be quite happy to help you with that. So yeah, let me know if this is helpful. I'm going to go and find my video on YouTube now and link it below, and hopefully that will be enough for now. Oh yeah, and we're going to talk about recall, but I feel like this has gone off quite a bit longer. so I'll do recall next time. But for now, if you want to do recall, it's all about getting them to navigate back to you, okay? So you've got to be the fun, so think about how you can provide that. Games, your body language, obviously high value food, check-ins, okay? Getting your dog to look back at you often, reinforcing that with praise and food and tuggy and whichever, whenever they do it naturally, whenever they offer that, and also training them to do that using the long line. So that's a quick tip. Yeah, okay, I'll leave it there. Oh, and thank you to Chester, our star for the day. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. Right, how do we stop this?